What's up guys and welcome to today's video. It's the final episode of my current split. Sad times, but good news is I've got a brand new split to start very soon. This is week 4, which is the final week of the high intensity, high volume. After this week, I'll be doing a deload week where basically the volume is pulled back a lot and I'll be having a few more rest days just to allow my body to recover. Because honestly, I'm absolutely pretty friggin' fatigued right now. The sessions are not easy, they're pretty, horrible. Anyway, today we're going to be doing delts, biceps and triceps. I haven't actually hit my arms yet directly, but I have done a bit of shoulder work on day 1. So we'll be starting off today. In fact, every exercise today is a superset pretty much. A lot of time when I do biceps and triceps, I do like to superset them. So we're going to start off with doing a seated overhead shoulder press superset with some dumbbell bicep curls. Most important thing to do is warm up. So I'll show you a very good thing I do for warming up the shoulders. Oh! These are very good for opening out the chest, loosening up the shoulders, which is going to be important, particularly as I'm doing an overhead press. There's a few times I have really caused damage to myself, and that is from overhead pressing. Just going too heavy, and I've irritated, I think, a nerve in my trap. So it's important for me when doing this to properly warm up. And of course, warming up with some light weights. Now for most people, well for everyone, you've got to determine what angle you're going to have the bench at. And that is largely determined by what your shoulder mobility is like, how much external rotation can you achieve. For some people, if they can only bring the hand up to here, then they'll need to have the bench a little bit lower, right? So they're kind of, when they do that, this is the optimal position to be in, and they're coming up and they're pressing. If you had super range of motion, super external rotation, then you can pretty much press directly upright. I'm kind of a little bit in between. Maybe we'll do this today. I think this will be good. Again, a couple of reps on a heavier weight, and then we'll get to my working weight for today. It's important to have the hands directly above the elbows. I'm not bringing the dumbbells towards my head. Don't want to be over-engaging the triceps here. Warm up the biceps as well. Usually don't do too much. I just do variations of curls. Hammer curls, pronated curls, supinated curls. Sorry to bore you with all the warm-ups, but it's got to be done. Right then, let us go with the working weight. Today, let's get the app up. Seated dumbbell shoulder press supersetted with seated dumbbell bicep curl. We have a drop set here, but the drop set will be on the last set, so you don't have to worry about that until the end. Tempo relatively quick, only 2-second negative, so luckily that's not too horrible. 8 reps each. Very important when you do this, just pop it up with your knee, right? One at a time. Pop up, and go. Ah, 10 seconds rest, and then we'll go into the curls. A little bit of a longer rest in between these sets because I'm doing them back to back. It's interesting today. I had a blood test earlier on for Bionic. I don't know if you guys watched that video. A lot of people hated it. Anyway, I'm due an update for my customized supplement formula. So I need to do my blood test every 2 months pretty much. So I had one today. They took 8 tubes. So today I'm absolutely flagging. I feel like I'm trying to do this workout with a fraction of the blood I usually have in my body. So it feels tough. I mean, it's probably not the smartest idea to train today, but I needed to film this video. Chris, can you pass me the weights? Come on, Chris. Curls again, trying to keep my elbow fixed in position. No cheating, no swinging. Big squeeze at the top. The overhead press was difficult. I think I'm gonna go down to 38 today. Sometimes you have those days. I think today is one of those days where strength is not at its peak, but it's okay. If it means you have to lower the weight, you lower the weight. Last set, fourth set. I've dropped the weight down to 38, but the curls are still pretty damn strong. So we'll finish up and move on to the next one. Oh, this is the drop set. Usually drop the weight by a third and just wrap it out. Nasty. Let's move on. Another superset. We're gonna do a cable lateral raise. So we're just gonna lean forward slightly and then come up this position. We need to ask ourselves what part of the delt we're trying to target today. Focusing on the mid delt. So I don't want to be raising up in this position with the front delt being on top. I want to focus on the mid delt being on top. So I'm going to lean forward ever so slightly to just ensure that that's happening. Just going to do that with each arm, and then bicep curl, single arm as well. So it's a lot of reps. Trying to keep my arms straight, no bend at the elbow. Elbow fixed by the side. That felt like an entire eternity just doing that. So one of the good reasons I like to use cables for doing lateral raises is whenever you do a dumbbell, at the bottom part of the movement, it's very minimal resistance. So there's no resistance when the delt is in a lengthened position. But when you do it with a cable, if you already stand in this position, the cable is generating resistance against your arm. So just to maintain this is working the delt. So the hardest point in the movement will be here, where the cable is 90 degrees to my forearm, which is good because now we're really challenging the lengthened position. In the shortened position, it's a little bit easier, which is good because when you're doing a dumbbell lateral raise, when you're at this point here, it's the hardest point in the movement. And generally speaking, that's when your delt is in its weakened position in the shortened range. So if you always just did dumbbell lateral raises, you're doing yourself a disadvantage and you're potentially limiting how much your delts can grow. So it's always good where possible to train the muscle in the lengthened range, and that goes for every muscle. also, where possible, prefer to use a strap like this. Because whenever I grip, whether it be a dumbbell or a handle, I notice my forearm over engages, and I'd rather that not happen. I just want all the tension to be on the delt. The same thing goes for when you're doing curls with the cables. At the bottom position, where your bicep is lengthened, you're still generating a decent amount of resistance because the cable is pulling away at an angle. So it's beneficial as well when training biceps to make some adjustments so that you really overload the lengthened position too. Dun 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 dun. This superset, we're gonna do a chest supported dumbbell lateral raise. The reason why it's chest supported is to keep my torso in the position which I want it to be in and to stay in throughout the set. So I'm not gonna be forced to cheat as the set progresses. Very easy to do that, particularly as you start to struggle. You know, you're trying to target the mid delt, but if the mid delt is fatigued, then your front delt will take over and then you end up just working your front delt again, which is not really what we're trying to do because front delt gets enough stimulation from all the pressing work we do, both on shoulders and chest. So we're gonna go up, arms straight, coming out and front to about this position. And as you can see on top, the mid delt is gonna be working, okay? And straight after that, we're gonna do close grip tricep push-up. Straight in to maximize tension on the triceps. We're gonna keep our elbows tucked in. So, trying to end up in this position at the bottom, up to the top. I'm really trying my best to not let my chest take over. As you can imagine, it wants to do some of the work, but I just want to keep it on the triceps when I press. One of those days, friends, one of those days. I'm very, very close to not doing this session. I honestly just was gonna go home. So before this, I've already done about 2 hours worth of filming for TikTok. Combine that with a blood test, I feel like absolute trash. But, gotta get it done. And a lot of people ask me like, oh, how do you stay motivated? So some people think that I don't have the same problems that everyone else has, that I don't have those days where I don't want to train. Today is one of those days where I don't want to train, but I just don't allow myself to quit and skip it. Sometimes, yes, I will, because I know my body and I know it needs to rest. But today, I had a rest day yesterday, so I know I don't need to rest. It's just because I'm mentally a bit tired, but my body is not. So I'm getting the session done because I know when I do the session, when I complete it, I'm gonna feel good about myself, I'm gonna feel accomplished. That big checkbox that needed to be ticked is ticked. If I skipped the session, I would have just gone home, not really done anything, probably wouldn't have eaten that great, because I usually find that when I train good, I eat good. When I skip training, I tend to not eat as good. So all I'm thinking about now is that feeling I'm gonna have when I complete this session. That's what's getting me through. Last set, I'm gonna do some partials on this one, so I'm gonna pulse it out until I literally can't do it anymore. Naughty, naughty burn. So the last exercise, we're going to be doing a reverse pec deck to hit the rear delts, because I don't really hit the rear delts today. Then we're going to do an overhead rope extension. Unfortunately, both pieces of equipment are on either side of the gym, so let's just hope that I get to keep them for me and somebody else doesn't join in. We'll start off with the rear delt fly. So with this one, I'm trying to isolate my rear delt just to get it to pop. I play around. I usually find that if I actually bend my elbow a bit, I get a better contraction of the rear delt, so I always used to do it straight, but I would love to have a little screen in front of me to see what my back looks like. So that's what it looks like. Basically, you need to get a Rob to follow you around everywhere you go, and you can get pictures and videos of you from different angles. Didn't really say much about how to perform this one on the first set, but it's pretty straightforward. The hardest part of the movement is actually getting the rope up safely behind your back. Put one foot in front of the other, you're in a sturdy position, and then you can just rep it out. And usually as well, this is what we'll do on the last set. When you can no longer extend with the rope apart, just bring them together and just pulse it out. But we don't need to do that just yet. a drop set on this one, and then I don't think we've got a drop set on the other one. No, but we're just gonna go to failure anyway. You know you're doing that exercise right when you get a nasty little burn in the rear delt. If you're not really feeling a burn, then the tension is placed somewhere else, maybe on the back, maybe even on the triceps. That's why it's very important to get the technique right on this one. And just do a few practice sets so that you actually feel like you're doing it properly, you feel it where it should be working. A lot of it is down to what's happening with the scapula with that one. A lot of people, when they do that reverse fly, they end up retracting and they start to engage all kinds of back muscles. Generally speaking, I would advise to just keep it protracted slightly, but just keep it fixed in place, right? Okay, no retraction, no protraction, just fixed. And then hitting the rear delt. Let's finish off strong, shall we? Right, now we're going to bring the rope together, and just pulse it out. Nasty. Decent. I must say the lighting here is rather complimentary, so I'm just going to stand here for a while. What are we saying? The split complete. I think I can just stop training now. I think I've completed the gym. Yeah, finished the gym. I'm gonna take up golf full time now. Me and Bella, just gonna chip away, put away, and live happily ever after. That was a joke. Oh! So that is that. The session is complete. The split is pretty much coming to an end. I think it's been a very promising January indeed. The training's been on point, nutrition's been on point. The recovery's also good. I'm happy with the shoulder development as well. In terms of the next split, I'm going to put that together next week. But usually, if a split is working for you, you don't necessarily have to change it. But I would alter maybe like the volume a little bit. So say for example, you've accumulated in terms of the volume and intensity, I would just pull back and then go through that cycle once again. But for me, I generally do like to change up my split every 5-6 weeks, just because I like to keep it interesting. So I will be starting a new split in around about 2 weeks' time. I haven't necessarily decided what I will focus on. I think I still like to focus on the back, maybe this area here, the lower lat, and still the hamstrings. I think I'm going to keep up with the 2 leg sessions every 8 days. Legs just need to be trained, and of course I've got to look good when I'm wearing my shorts, the thirst shorts. I want my legs looking juicy. Calves as well. Calf development has been slow and steady. They're not monstrous, but they're all right. I think I'm going to keep hammering them twice a week as well, just to bring them up. Generally speaking, I might just continue with quite a few of the exercises which I'm doing at the moment, simply because they just work for me. But what I tend to change up is maybe it'd be the tempo at which I do that exercise. Maybe it's the rep range. Maybe instead of going higher rep, I go a little bit lower rep. Or maybe I'll just change up one of the variables, such as the angle of my torso when I'm performing that movement, whether it be a press or a row, or even just changing up the grip. So maybe if I was doing something pronated, maybe I'd change it to supinated. or neutral, right? It's minor changes, but they actually do make a difference. So I'd never necessarily stick to doing the same exercises in the same order over and over again. I will mix it up and change it. So I'm looking forward to a deload week now, because for my split, that's a lot of volume. More volume than I would recommend the average Joe/beginner to be doing. So for somebody who has been doing a lot of volume, it is more of a requirement, I'd say, to have that deload week where I have more days of rest than usual and I pull back on the volume. But for most people, you know, if you go into the gym, you're not really lifting a huge amount, or you're not really pushing to failure frequently, and you're having the rest days, the need for you to take a deload week is kind of less. But it's really dependent upon the individual, their training experience, what their lifestyle is like outside of the gym, and how hard they push themselves. So listen to your body. That's what it's all about. Understanding your body, listening to it, not being lazy, but again, understanding when your body needs to take a break. So that is that. If you haven't already signed up to the app, then I'm hugely disappointed in all of you, because this app literally has everything you need. And if you have been a fan and a viewer for the past few years, even since I was in London, you still haven't got the app, then again, hugely disappointed and let down, to be honest. And of course, if you want more of a tailored experience with customized training and customized nutrition, along with access to coaches and myself, my private cell phone number, then the VIP coaching option is going to be best for you. So the link to that is in the description. Look forward to working with you if you've got what it takes. If not, see you in the next video. Bye.